Hobby Quick Hits. Delivering that breaking hobby news directly to your earlobes. You want to know those hot drops from the card shop? We've got you covered. With your host, John Newman.
Welcome to another edition of Hobby Quick Hits. I don't know, it seems like it's been more than 2 weeks, but happy to be back. Today's a Q&A episode. So, you know, I always get, I don't want to say always, but a lot of times I'll get questions asked to me via DMs or emails. I always answer them in a prompt fashion, and you know, depending on the question, I will ask the person who asked it, hey, do you mind if I use this question on a future Q&A episode? Because I think it may be a question others may have as well, or I find it interesting. Sometimes they could be about the hobby. Sometimes they could be a little off topic. It could range to both. So that's what today's episode. We got a lot of news sort of to catch up on, because last episode we did our football preview, and we kind of cut out the news segment to devote more time to the preview. So we'll catch up on some news, and as always, we'll have our product release scheduled as well. So we'll get a quick break, and then we'll be back with the releases of the next couple weeks.
Okay, now a quick word from our great sponsor, followed by the new product release schedule. Then we'll go around the Hobbyverse to tell you all the latest hobby happenings and news. Then we'll tackle today's topic of discussion.
Hi, this is Pat Hughes, Cubs announcer, coming to you from the Sports Card Shop in beautiful New Buffalo, Michigan. The Gocher family has built an incredible place here for collectors to buy, sell, and trade cards and memorabilia. Be sure to stop by and let them show you around. TheSportsCardShop.com, connecting sports, athletes, the hobby, and collectors around the world.
Hi. This is Alan Pinkett, and I'm here to tell you the Gocher family has done it again. They've just opened up the Sport Card Shop in downtown Valparaiso, Indiana, and it is awesome. If you're a collector, you need to check this place out. Tell them Alan sent you and get a free gift on your first visit.
Let's check out this week's Hobby Wax releases. Take it away, Owen.
Hey guys, I'm from the Sports Card Shop. Let's go over the week releases. Starting off at the 6th, we have Fiorda World Unique Football Edition 21 Soccer. Going to the 8th, we have Bowman Chrome Baseball Mega, Panini Black Football, Upper Deck Ultimate Collection Hockey, and then the 9th, we have Panini Flawless Football. That's a big one. And going to the 10th, we have Panini's Donruss Football Hobby Tin, Topps Dune Chrome, Tristar Hidden Treasures Football Mini Helmet Platinum Season Edition. And then the 15th, we have Historic Autographs 15th Anniversary Edition, Historic Autographs WW World War II Retail, Panini Impeccable Football Super Break Supercharged Series 2 Edition, Topps Disney Wonder, Topps Disney Wonder Blaster, Upper Deck Series 1 Hockey, and then the 16th, we have Panini Donruss WNBA Basketball, Panini Enamorants Football, and then the 17th, we have Leaf History Book Sports Edition Chapter 2, Panini Nor Soccer, Pieces of the Past Royalty, Topps UFC Knockout, and last but not least, Tristar Hidden Treasures Autograph Football Jerseys Edition Series 2. Thanks, guys. See you later.
Let's go round the Hobbyverse and catch up on this week's hobby news.
And find out. All right, it's not really new news, about a week old, but again, we weren't on last week, so we didn't get to cover it. PSA has announced a price increase on some of their lower levels, but Value Bulk $19.99 to $21.99. Value $24.99 to $27.99, and value plus $39.99, going up $5 to $44.99. So going to cost you a little bit more to send to PSA. I think the grand scheme of things, the increases are minimal, but they're trying to offset some of the backlog, if you will. And if they're going to have a backlog, they want more money to get through it and get their way out of it. Also announced, add 5 days to any of the previous turnaround times. So if it was 40 days, it's now 45. If it was 20 days, it's now 25. So add 5 days to any kind of turnaround time estimates, if you will. Staying on the PSA news front, they, in correlation with the Major League Players Incorporated, a business arm of the Players Union, some players were on eBay Live opening product and pulling cards. Those players were Bobby Witt Jr., Corbin Carroll, Bryce Terang, Trevor McGill, Justin Turner, Evan Carter, and Travis Bazzana. And some of those cards, some of those key cards that they pulled, some of the bigger hits, will be slabbed by PSA and sold on the platform. If you win that card or buy that card, you'll get a video of that said player pulling that card, and the slab itself will be designated players collection. So, and I know Bobby Witt Jr. and Corbin Carroll for sure, but I think all those players that I just mentioned are all collectors in their own right. So, own a little small piece of small history there, if that's sort of your thing. So, happy auctioning there. Another, the Baltimore News 1914 Babe Ruth, AirTags rookie, graded SGC3, which sold in December of 2023, is coming back for sale. This time on Heritage, their fall auction. It last sold in December of 23 for $7.3 million. This is a card that's only been available to auction 2 times in the last 10 years. This will be the second time in the last 10 years. And it's expected to fetch more than the $7.3 million December of 2023 sale. We'll see here come the Heritage Fall Auction. If you like to get Ohtani cards like I do, there is one that was only distributed on September 21st at Dodger Stadium. It's the Descartes Dodgers 3-card set, which features Ohtani, Freddie Freeman, and Teoscar Hernandez. They were given out to fans coming through the turnstiles. Only 10,000 sets produced. So it's something. If you collect Ohtani cards, there's one that maybe you can chase and add to your collection. Descartes, I guess, is a cosmetics brand that Ohtani is a spokesman for, and the 3 cards depict the players doing a hand gesture that Ohtani did during their commercials there. So, the chase is on for that set. All right, so, big bucks is not just relying to the major sports, and not that tennis isn't a major sport, but Carlos Alcaraz's tennis ball, the last one he hit to win the 2025 U.S. Open in his victory over Yannick Sinner, just sold at Sotheby's in auction for $89,000. That surpasses the previous record for a tennis ball, which was the 2013 U.S. Open victory ball from Serena Williams. That ball went for $9,500, so $80,000 more. Again, we're talking 12 years later, so the market is a lot different. If you want a chance at another piece of Alcaraz's history, his racket, which is a Babolet or Babolet, forgive me if I pronounce that wrong. His racket from the 2023 Wimbledon victory over Novacek is going to be ending in October 19th on Prestige Memorabilia. It's already got bids, and it's expected to go over 200K. So if you want the racket from his 2023 Wimbledon run, save your money and bid on that as well. Fanatics has announced a first ever distribution to China with a basketball release, which will be coming up here in a few weeks, I believe. 2025-26 Topps Master Attacks, and they are using the KU distributorship, which is a manufacturer and distributor to China, to distribute that product to China. First time for that, and so again, Fanatics trying to broaden their range and obviously they're be worldwide. So that's look for that if you're in China here very soon. To be honest with you, so there you go. That's the news for this segment, and enjoy the hobby.
And now, our feature presentation.
All right, time for another Q&A episode. Always enjoy these. Again, just so everyone knows, these are questions I've gotten over the last few weeks. I've already answered them. They come in via either DM, PM, or email. Or text. I've answered these to the people asking them already. I don't make them wait for the show, but I asked their permission to use it as part of the Q&A episode. So that's what you'll hear on the show. If they let me use their name, I'll say their first name. Every once in a while, someone will say you can use the question. Just don't attach my name to it. I don't have any of those on today's particular episode. So with that being said, let's start with no particular order, just the way I printed these out. First question comes from Riley, who asked, John, I followed you and the show on social media. You didn't follow back. How come? I'm not malicious. I'm not avoiding you on purpose. Sometimes I get a lot of like people who want to do logo designs and different things like that. So sometimes I don't follow everybody back. The best way to get a follow back, which I love to do, is to be interactive. So if you like one of my posts or you comment on one of my posts, I will see that and I will say follows you, and there'll be a follow back sort of button to click. That's the best way to get a follow back. If it's important to you, PM me, DM me, and I'll make sure to do it. I'm not doing it to be negative or malicious. I just, I try to get to as many follow backs as I can, but sometimes they do slip through the cracks. So there's the best way to do it, is sort of be interactive, and then it's easier for me to see that I'm not following that person who's being interactive with me, and then I fix that, solve that. All right, next question comes from Ryan, who says, I heard your preview baseball episode earlier this year, but now that the playoffs are set, give me your World Series matchup and winner. It's going to be hard to pick against the Dodgers. That lineup is just too formidable. So I'll say the Dodgers in the NL. And man, I'm leaning Tigers or Yankees in the AL. AJ Hinch is a great manager and a great postseason manager. Tariq Skubal is one of the best pitchers in baseball. Hard to pick against them. So I'll say Tigers or Yankees, and I'll hedge my bet by saying whether it's the Tigers or the Yankees, I'm going to pick the Dodgers to win the World Series again. So Dodgers versus either the Tigers or the Yankees. And that was a pretty new question that actually just came in yesterday. So, all right, next question comes by way of Chad. What are your thoughts with PSA, SGC, and SGC's numbers on the decline? People know how I feel about SGC, and I'm a bulk subber. The latest gem rate report, I'd be lying if I said wasn't disappointing. I hope they're not going away. I hope the decline, and I know I just spoke about this on Hobby Hotline, I hope the decline is coming from the place of people are like a little tentative of SGC going away, and then when they don't, they'll jump back on board and submit. I will say this, I just had a bulk sub that was like my 5th highest, including before the bulk rates went away. So on a local level, I'm still seeing a significant amount of cards sub. But again, when you look at the big picture, that's not being indicated. So, yeah, it's disappointing. I don't want SGC to go away, but it's also obviously not my call. And what we're seeing here, folks, is I'm not sure what Collectors is doing other than opening the door up for a CGC to kind of try to step foot into that number 2 spot. And there's smart people that work in the building, I always say, but I really question this kind of decision. And, you asked about PSA. I know they just raised their prices. The raises were very slight, so I don't think that's significant there, but they extended their turnaround times by 5 days. Well, 5 days when your turnaround times are already pretty significant are also kind of a blip on the radar. So not a lot to say there, but I just hope SGC is still around. And again, that comes from a selfish point of view, if you will. All right, next question comes from Laurel. A few weeks back, she asked me before the season, give me a football player that maybe I should be buying. And it's hard to give just one. And I'll take this question as this. One that's sort of at a lower level but has the potential to, have a higher ceiling, if you will. I would have loved to say Brock Bowers. That's a guy that I have plenty of and been buying. Little slow start. I think he's got a nagging knee injury. I still love Brock Bowers. Another guy I love, Marvin Harrison Jr. He's off to a little bit of a slow start. I guess, and I still believe in both those guys, so it's a great buying opportunity as their cards will downtick, right? So there's 2. Obviously, the NFL is a quarterback-driven league. Just when we thought the Chiefs were dead, they're starting to play well. I think Patrick Mahomes has a couple Super Bowls left in him before his career's over. His cards might be a little bit down due to some of their early struggles. Might be an opportunity to snag a couple of his cards, if you will. If you like rookies, if you're a Giants fan or a Jackson Dart believer, you might go that route. You can definitely on the ground level potentially there on the quarterback side of things. And if you think the Josh Allen era has begun, again, his stuff's not necessarily cheap either, but, you might be able to get him if he was to win a Super Bowl title this year. Might be an opportunity to buy some of his stuff before that happens. I know you asked for one, and I gave you 5 or 6 there, but it's so hard to pick just one guy, especially in football, a sport I'm definitely passionate about. So I gave you a few. You may have your own thoughts or other guys I didn't mention as well. The next question comes from Mark. And again, I mentioned sometimes these questions are not hobby specific, which it's kind of nice because we're all human beings and we do stuff outside the hobby. Mark says, "Hey, I follow your personal Facebook account. I see you post a lot of food pics and stuff you make. What is your favorite food?" Quick answers: anything I make on my Blackstone. But my favorite food really is probably seafood, lobster, crab. I'm a huge seafood guy. I don't eat it every day, but I definitely could. I couldn't afford to eat it every day, but seafood I could live on every day. One of my favorite foods. Thanks for the question, Mark. Bob asks, I've heard your hobby pet peeve show. Do you have any new ones that you did since the show that I listened to? I guess, nothing like ruins my day or anything like that. I don't let the hobby get to me to that level. It's 8% of my life, so there's 92% of non-hobby stuff that takes up my life. I guess I'd say if I have a new hobby pet peeve, and again, don't take this as me losing sleep or I'm mad or I'm punching walls, but I've noticed, to me, and I could be wrong, this is one man's opinion, I've noticed in content creation, it seems like, and again, perception isn't always reality, but I feel like certain content creators, I think, are more in love with the content creation than the hobby or the cards themselves. And again, I don't want to paint with a broad brush. That doesn't apply to most people. But I think there are a segment of content creators who I feel like are more in love with themselves on video than them talking about cards or showing cards and that sort of thing. That doesn't make them the Antichrist or bad people. It's just not my thing, right? The cards were always here before the content creation was for me. So that's the order that I put them in and will always put them in. So again, just my perception and my answer to that question. Thank you to Bob. All right, we have one more question. Comes from Eric. He says, "What is I know you do vintage. What is your favorite player modern to buy and sell, and why?" Man, that's again hard to answer one. I'll give you one. I know he didn't have a tremendous year this year, but he's a collector in his own right too. So I might be competing against him to buy some of his cards. But that's Bobby Witt Jr. I think he's one of the best 5'2" players in the major leagues. I think he's reminiscent of Mike Trout. Hopefully he stays injury-free, unlike Mike Trout, unfortunately. So Bobby Witt Jr. Is my guy. Shortstop. People love shortstops. And I know he signed a long-term deal in Kansas City. I know they didn't make the postseason, but he's going to be, barring injuries, a guy that we'll talk about every year, probably a Hall of Famer, barring injury. And just love how he plays the game. And I don't get to see him a lot here on the East Coast on TV, but anytime they are on TV, I always make a point to watch them. And just a great player I kind of like. And his cards can be, he's not cheap. Wouldn't classify him as cheap, but his cards are definitely affordable. And I think there's definitely a lot of ceiling there as well.